Hey, we
Yo,
back.
what's up, man?
We back. Super Bowl
I
in the
hope it
rearview.
hurt. Yeah, now it ain't in the rear view, it's present. I loved it.
It's over with. Super Bowl in the rearview. I've moved on, bro.
Yeah,
I'm on to the next chapter of life. I had my
yeah,
1 hour
whatever,
of
man.
I didn't want to
Whatever,
do
man.
24-hour roof. I felt like that was too long because this Super Bowl was ugly, real ugly. But we're gonna touch on it in a minute. But man, we had a lot of news that take place the last couple of days from the Super Bowl. LeBron back struggling, some trades happening, and the Lakers just the young bucks. They look like they fed up with LeBron's antics. Like it's been interesting, man. So we got a couple things to touch on, but. Yeah, man, we,
Yeah.
we go ahead and dive into this Super Bowl so I can officially put it in the rear view. I don't want to sit on this for too long.
Yeah, I know you don't, yeah. But when you do break it down, I ain't gonna say one word, man. I'm gonna let you let all that anger out so you can move on. And remember, they from Los Angeles now. It ain't St. Louis no more.
Hey,
Los Angeles Rams lost the
uh,
Super Bowl.
that's my squad for life, man. I'm gonna ride with them no matter what. But at the end of the day, this Super Bowl, you know what? The crazy thing about it is, I sat there, I watched it, and I was like, it's literally the exact thing that I said I feared the most is happening, and that was Sean McVay. I said Sean McVay is what scares me the most in this game. I was like, will he outcoach himself? And he did. That's what it all comes down to. He did. It's like all this talk about is Todd Gurley hurt and all this other stuff. I kept saying he's not hurt. if you followed the Rams at all since Sean McVay has taken over, you know that he consistently does this. He gets so wrapped up into the past, he forget about the run game. But it looks even worse when you forget about the run game because you splitting carries now. So you might only run the ball 17 times, but then you're gonna split that 17. It's like what? You talking about a game that was 3-3 for 52 minutes
Right.
and you passed the ball 42 times. Why? Like you're not in a must pass situation, man. It don't make sense. And when Gurley would get his touches, he only had 10 carries, for 35 yards. One of his runs was 20 yards, got called back, but he was consistently popping some every other carry or so, where he had a 9 yard, 2 carries later had 15, 16, 3 carries later had the 20 yard that got called back. Like, keep feeding him, man. You see he clicking. Like, Sean McVay, I don't get it. He do this too often. This is one of his biggest downfalls as a coach since he's been a head coach. Is he forgets that he has the best running back in the league. He's terrible with timeouts. I don't even know what happened. He did it that Super Bowl. The whole world saw it where they had the ball. He just, I don't know what he was doing, but it's just a couple things that he need to work on as a head coach. Everybody say, "Oh, he's young," and I get that, and I could
Yeah.
understand if this was the first time it happened, but this is something that happens consistently, man. What was your thoughts on the game, man?
Me and you both said the key to the game was that Ty Gurley touched the ball 25 times. Ty Gurley had 10 carries. Your punter had 8 punts. That is just a horrible recipe for success, man, if I ever seen one. The biggest thing for me was watching how stubborn Sean McVay truly can be because he sees that Bill Belichick has figured out his passing game, figured
Yep.
it out completely. And he never tried anything new. Y'all didn't even try to get the ball to Higbee in the middle. For what? I don't know why. Nothing in the middle the entire game. And on top of that, they never tried to even pass it to Ty Gurley or pass to CJ. They could have. That people act like CJ Anderson can't catch. That man can catch a screen. He's an NFL football player. They haven't ran that in the entire season, so why not try something new now? It was disgusting to watch him coaching that Super Bowl. He, like you said, he's young. He has to learn from this, but there's also a pattern of him being so stubborn. It costs the team. And in the biggest game, your defense comes to play. Wade Phillips, man, shout out to him. He was
Yes.
amazing. That defense balled, and I told you, Marcus Peters and Akeem Talib, they all had a great game. I mean, they had a great game. They ballers. Marcus Peters is a baller, man. He gonna show up for you in the biggest game. But Sean McVay, and also the other part that I really cannot stand is how he has held back Jared Goff. You know, he has the same control of Jared Goff, just like your previous coach, Jeff Fisher. But it's better. It's a whole lot better coaching, but it's the same control. Jared Goff is going to the line. He can't read anything. I'm sitting here, bro. I'm sitting here watching the game, and I'm like, okay, Jared Goff, there's 5 people coming. Why don't you slide it this way? Have your running back pick up here, throw a slant, change the play. He changed nothing. He just lined up, and whatever's going on through his headsets is where he looks and where he throws. Now, I will give Jared Goff some credit because ultimately, with all that being said, the difference in the game, the big difference, Gronk made a great catch. Brandon Cooks did not. If Brandon Cooks catches that ball, Goff actually threw a dime in there. Before he threw the game away, that was a dime. Cooks got to catch that. But, ultimately, man, the Rams it was their offense, it was a pathetic performance, man. It really was. And as far as the game being boring, I didn't think it was boring at all. I love watching defense. I actually love it because every first down is like crucial, So I think it was a really good game. It was just disappointing to see Sean McVay and Jared Goff and not getting the ball to Ty Gurley. It was awful.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned Goff because I was going to touch on that. But real quick before I do, the screen game. I said this when we was recording, before the Super Bowl. I said, if he's smart, Ty Gurley should have 7 to 8 catches because when you play this defense, they're going to blitz because they can't get pressure with their front four. My exact words. In that type of situation.
Hey, hold up. You know how many yards he got receiving for the playoffs? Do you know that stat?
Off the top of my head, I forget what it is.
7.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is Sean McVay, since they had their bye after the Chiefs, they played the Chiefs in week 13, week 12, something like that. Since they got back from bye, week 14, they haven't been running the screen. Now, since he's taken over, the screen game has been popping. Ty Gurley, I was talking about it last time, his average 12 yards of reception, but he hasn't been using the screen. And if there was ever a time to get back to doing that, it was against the Patriots because of the blitzing that they do. You're going to consistently catch them off guard, and it's going to be open field for him to run. Sean McVay outcoached himself. That's the simple truth of the matter. It was too much of, I do this. Nobody stopped it. But what if he do this to stop it? That's when you start thinking like that, you're coaching against yourself. You do it until somebody stop you. That's one thing that I love about Bill Belichick. I have seen this man more than once run the same power right 4 times in a row because he said he can't stop. But I've seen him do that. Didn't even change the formation.
That touchdown drive with the Patriots, they ran the same damn play 4 times in a row, man. All it was, they were in 21 personnel. They went spread. They had the outsides running hooks. They had the seams going, and then they had Julian Edelman in the middle, like on some option route, just get open type of deal. Then they went to it 4 times. They even did it in motion 2 times. It's the same play.
Yeah,
I'll do anything else.
Sometimes it's the simplest thing that works the best. And that's why I respect Bill Belichick so much because he realized that. But to do that, you got to be willing to put ego to the side. And that's the hardest thing for an NFL head coach because you the head man. When you get put in that role, like most people who get put in the top role, you develop some type of ego. And some of them come into the role with an ego. So it's really bad for them. And, like I said, with Sean McVay, he does have that tendency of saying, you know what, I got to do better. And the next game, you see him do better. But what happens when ain't no next game? This is it. There ain't no next game. So you can't always do better. Here's a stat for you. Since Sean McVay has taken over as the Rams head coach, there's been 10 games where Todd Gurley didn't get at least 20 carries. In those 10 games, they are 3-7.
Yeah.
3-7. It's evident. That's including the playoffs. Same thing last year with Atlanta. He got away from Todd Gurley. He started trying to go back to him in the second half. They got back in the game, but they ran out of time. But the same thing with Atlanta. They wasn't giving him the carries. He ended up finishing that game with, I think, 16 carries for 98 yards. Like, when you run it like that, why do you not keep feeding them? You have to feed your best player and keep that clock going and keep Brady off the field, but he just wasn't doing that, But one thing about talking about clock, one thing that I thought was pure genius, Sean McVay, this is his second season in the NFL. Coached 16 games last year plus a playoff, and then 16 games this year plus 2 playoff games. That's 35 games that he's coached before getting to Belichick. Not one coach has done this. Sean McVay is notoriously known, talks to Jared Goff up until the last 15 seconds when they cut off the headset. He talks to him the entire time, which I agree. And I actually had this debate with somebody else the other day where he's literally, while he's the best thing that's happened to Jared Goff, he's also the worst thing because he's stunting his growth. He's coddling him so much. He's not giving him the chance to learn how to dissect the defense because that's what he's doing up until 15 seconds. He's dissected it. But anyway, because Belichick knows that and the whole world knows it, this is why you keep stuff in-house, because of this very thing right here. Bill Belichick was not lining his defense up until 15 seconds was left.
But see, and hold up, that right there is what irritates me about golf. If they don't line up, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Snap the damn ball and go. They not lined up. Snap the ball and go.
Exactly.
He's sitting here waiting on the coach to tell him what to do, bro. That's not good at all.
And the thing about that is it goes 50-50 because I said the same thing. I was like, they need to go to hurry up because one thing about the Rams, they actually the best hurry up team in the NFL the past 2 years. When they go hurry up, they are literally scored every single drive they've gone hurry up on the last 2 years. So they needed to go hurry up because the defense ain't lining up, but they wasn't doing it. But then also I look at it, I say, yeah, Goff should have made them do it, but then you got McVay and they're saying, well, wait a minute, let me see what they got. And then your time run out. And he kept doing it. And I'm just like, dude, you got at some point you got to make this adjustment, man. And it just wasn't happening, So, but at the same time, I don't want to harp on the Rams too much because if you tell anybody outside of the Patriots organization, New England will only score 13 points, and they were. What do you think happened? Only the Patriots would say we're gonna win this game, So you got to give Patriots credit. They was in Jared Goff face all night because the Rams didn't adjust and they was doing their job, as Bill Belichick says. They did their job. Gronk made a hell of a catch, and that catch. What was disheartening for me, I know I said this to you, was I think the matchup of the night will be John Johnson versus Gronk. Brady went to Gronk early, and John Johnson was on him, and Gronk got shut down by John Johnson. He took him out the game. And the first time Brady saw John Johnson wasn't on him, he saw that linebacker on him, and he said, "It's my shot." He took it, and there it is. That's what makes Brady.
And the thing is, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad defense. He's right there. Gronk, it's a perfect throw and a great catch. It's the same. Like I said, it's the same as Cook's situation. Cooks has to catch that ball. He's better than that, man. And really, it was a difference in the game.
He is. And you know what? One thing that I said about that is I felt like he could have held on to that. I don't care if the defender got there or not. But then also, Goff was late on that throw. Real late. I mean, he was running. Nobody took him. He was real because he went uncovered. They took the cross routes. They took the bait on that. They went with the cross routes. And when they went with the bait, the safety pulled down to go cover Robert Woods when he was crossing, and they left the middle wide open. From off the snap, nobody covered Brandon Cooks.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about that one. That Goff was definitely too late on that one. I'm talking about the fade. he got to catch that. The one where Goff was late, yeah, I understand that one. Great defensive play by Jason McCourty. But that fade route, he got to catch that. Got to catch that, man.
I agree with that 100%.
It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game if he catches that. Goff came up big for you one time like Brady did for his team. His man dropped.
I agree, man. I agree 100%. You're right about that one. I was talking about the other one, but you hit the nail on the head with that one. That's fact. That's pure fact. He got to catch that. You know, it was an ugly game for the Rams offense. Honestly, probably the ugliest game I've seen from their offense. Maybe the closest thing to rival that is the loss to the Bears this year. But even against the Bears, it wasn't quite like this. You know, it was something a little different with this one. I don't think it was nerves at all. I don't think none of them was nervous. Gurley, to me, looked like he was ready to play. You know, I thought he ran hard, but I don't think Goff was nervous. I don't think none of that. I think that the play calling and adjustments was just not there, and then also that there was some missed opportunities like that fade. So overall, though, Patriots did their thing. Brady got six.
Definitely the GOAT.
He only answered six rings.
He was all ready to go, man, after he beat Atlanta for me. That's all I need to see. I'm done. But
he 41 and he talking about playing till he's 45, so he might get another one.
Tom Brady, go away, man. You've done enough. You've done enough, man. Enough's enough, man. Hey, hold on. Before we move on, man, gotta give a shout out to Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Patriots, because everybody's giving Bill Belichick the props, which you should. I'm sure he helped him, but that man, you saw he was calling the plays, and the players said he was calling all the plays, and they even said that in the biggest moment they were gonna go zero blitz, and you're gonna pick it off. And that's exactly what happened. So for him to do that, man, hey, Miami's looking good next year with him being the head coach. So I'm happy to see that happen for him.
Especially if they get Kyler Murray, but we'll touch on that further down the line. But no, I honestly, I agree with you 100%. And one thing that I give Bill Belichick much love for all the time is, unlike other super powerful head coaches, you look at Andy Reid, Sean McVay, all these guys, he don't try to intervene with his coordinators. He let them do their job. He let them call plays. He don't intervene. That's why so many of his coordinators throughout his time has moved on to get head coaching jobs, because he don't hold his guys back, man. He let them do their thing. They get their credit for calling their plays, and it's that simple. And I respect that about him, because you do get guys like Brian Flores a shot to move on. This is his first year as a D coordinator, and he gone. So you gotta give him love for that. But that's the end of that. Super Bowl NFL season is over. We moving on into draft season and all that stuff. We get on that stuff later on. We need to talk about some LeBron, man.
Hey.
Gotta talk about this sucker.
Hey, man, don't call him a sucker, man.
I have to because check it out, man. You got the baddest man. You got the baddest man on earth, right? On the court. LeBron's the baddest. Ain't no denying that. He's the best player in the world. But the number one debate that you're going to have with any crazy over-the-top LeBron fan is how many times he went to the NBA championship. They ain't going to talk about rings because he ain't winning that many rings. They're going to just say how many times he got there. And the rebuttal to that is always he plays in the East. It's easy. And then everybody used to always say, what if he played in the West? Would he do the same? Well, the world finally getting their answer, man. It ain't as easy as he thought. People say, oh, he ain't got no help. I've seen him take Cavaliers teams that he ain't had no help and do work with them. It's just that, the team that came back from 3-1, how much help did he have on that? Kyrie hit the big shot, but Kyrie wasn't even 100% to be, if we're going to keep it 100,
Hey, man, hold on. Them teams were even, bro. When they came back from 3-1, them teams were even. Just because they won more regular season games, if you look at it player for player, them teams were even.
And what about when Kyrie was gone?
Okay, that's different. When Kyrie
So,
and K Love is out, yeah, I mean, you can't. That's why you can't even count that as being a loss to him.
well,
But
no,
go ahead.
that's not where I'm going with it. Where I'm going with it is, it's easier to get to that level to reach the finals in the
Yeah,
East
yeah,
now that he's
yeah.
in the West. Because this Lakers team ain't no worse than that '07 Cavaliers team. Matter of fact, they better than that '07 Cavaliers team. You know,
Right.
like you saw what you like. You see what happens when he's in the East and the squad ain't really up to par. He can still get there. You can't do that in the West. He going up against some dogs in the West, and it's getting ugly. And his worst loss ever, coincidentally, actually came against the East team against the Pacers last night. 42 points, man. 42 points. That was what you.
Embarrassing. It was embarrassing, man.
What is
But
it?
say it again.
No, I say what you think he thinking right now, man.
Oh, he want everybody gone. That's what he's thinking. you know, and that's part of the problem. As a teammate, especially a young guy. See, this is the problem. Those young guys. Let me just give you their perspective, man. When LeBron came, they were thinking like, man, he about to come, we about to win. We'll probably get another star to play with us. I love it out here in LA. Magic is my GM. Most of them wanted to play for LA as kids. Lonzo did. But
Yeah,
now that he's here, we see he don't want you there. And what makes it even worse, those young guys, man, the last time they were pretty much at full strength and they all played together, do you remember what happened? They went to Golden State and blew them the hell out. Now are they better than Golden State? No. But
nah,
that game showed you that, they don't match up skill-wise because these are superstars in Golden State. I will
right.
never disrespect that. They don't. But athletically, the Lakers match up better with the Warriors than anybody because they can switch. Everybody is 6'8" and up. If you put Lonzo out there with Bron, JaVale McGee, Brandon Ingram, who ain't nothing but a KD Jr. without the talent, the skills, and then you got Kuzma. That's a tall ass lineup. And
Yes.
one thing that gives the Warriors problems is teams that can just switch and they're athletic, they're quick, they're fast. Steph Curry lacks athleticism. If there's ever a weakness in his game, he doesn't have that God-given athleticism, height, and strength. So
Right.
from their mindset, they're like, man, we can play with them. Let's go. But your leader is like, nah, we ain't going to beat them. We can't beat them. I need to go get Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? And they're too young. They're not professional enough to go out and compete every night. You see JaVale McGee, if you watch the game, he was the only one that was really playing hard. And you know why? JaVale McGee is a professional.
Hold up.
No, listen. Hold up, listen. JaVale McGee is a professional, bro. And he don't care where he plays. He's going to play as hard as he can. He wants to stay in the league. These young guys, they not thinking like that right now. So they don't want to play with him. And I'm not mad at him. I get it. I wouldn't want to play with him neither, man, because it's a mess. It's more another season where he needs a maximum amount of trades and team up
Yeah.
shit every year, dog. Like I'm tired of seeing it. And so is the NBA. Nobody wants to help LeBron. You seeing this right now. They
Yeah.
tired of every year, trade deadline, who's coming to help LeBron is the story. He turns into this pouty mood, sitting at the end of the bench, not by your teammates. Of course, you're down by 40. He's human. I get it. But, bro, you are 34 years old. You are the man on that team, dog. You're the leader. If you are down there acting that way, how you think they feel?
Yeah.
You the man on the team.
You know what? You got to think about it like this. Last night's game, you heard two chants. LeBron's going to trade you, which they were saying to Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's 21 years old, 22 years old.
Yes,
He
man.
only been in the league for 3 years. What you think that's doing to him? Now, JaVale McGee, like you said, he ain't care. They said you're not worth trading.
Don't care.
But
So,
I was laughing. They said you're not worth trading.
it's the
However,
standpoint, mate.
he ain't giving them. But those young guys, man, they can't take that. And here's the thing: this is my problem with when it comes to leadership. too often when it comes to sports, too often the best player is regarded as the leader. And I think that we look at KD, for example, we have accepted the fact he's not a leader. That's been accepted. But with LeBron, that's never been accepted. I don't look at LeBron as a leader because you don't see LeBron step up. LeBron has to have somebody else. He has to have a D Wade that's going to step up and do those. When they was with the Heat, the leader was D Wade. Everybody knows that. There was no question about it. He has to have those guys because LeBron won't do it. LeBron won't step up. Like you said, he get all pouty and stuff like that. And this is what I mean about not having that killer instinct. You can look at the Lakers and you can tell if you just keep them, no LeBron, just keep what you have, and you let them grow together for 3 years, you know they gonna be some bad boys. Like they long as hell, they athletic, and more than anything, they play defense. Real hard-nosed defense. Something LeBron don't even do no more. Like LeBron ain't played no real defense in like 3 years, 4 years. They play real defense, man.
He ain't played defense since he left Miami.
He ain't played defense in a minute. So it's like you look at this young Lakers team, and I say, man, these boys, they are already a tough matchup for anybody. But you give them time, they gonna be bad. So when you start messing with their psyche, you throwing all that off. And I think that's what LeBron is. I have said this over and over. LeBron is stunting the growth of certain players. And those certain players is players like Kyle Kuzma. I think that, he stayed at school longer than everybody else. He a little more mature than everybody else. I think he handles stuff a little better. But you look at Brandon Ingram, you look at Lonzo, those guys young. I think LeBron James is really stunting their growth, man, with all this ball dominance that he got, and then the way he go about his business with the pouting and sitting at the end of the bench by himself. And I tell everybody, I've never seen a coach killer like LeBron. Because I don't think Lou Walton's a bad coach. I think LeBron James could go to the Warriors and Steve Kerr get fired. Like I truly believe.
Don't go that far, man.
Like,
Don't go.
LeBron James.
I'm gonna tell you why. They'll get rid of LeBron before Steve Kerr gone. Long Steph's there, the Warriors are straight.
You get my point.
I do, man.
LeBron James, man.
That's another thing. That's another issue. It's how his people have already put it out that they don't want him there.
Yeah.
And he's not the one that is verbally saying these things, but it's the people around him that he can control to shut all this noise down.
But he never does.
We will not shut it down. And it's just like when they would lose with Cleveland, and every time they lost, there were trade rumors around Kyrie. There was always trade rumors. This is one of the main reasons why Kyrie wanted to get the hell out of there. He wanted to get away from him because he'll never shut down the persona of when they lose, that he takes the responsibility for that loss. Whether it's your fault or not, as the leader, you are supposed to go out there and defend your teammates. He will not do it, dog. Won't do it.
LeBron James has already proven he is the most powerful man in the NBA. More powerful than Adam Silver. Everybody knows this. If LeBron wants it, it's going to happen. So if LeBron wants a coach gone, it's going to happen. If LeBron wants you to kill that noise, it's going to happen. LeBron, that's why I say that just because you're the best player don't make you a leader. Because I look at LeBron and I say you're not a leader. You don't step up and you don't do the things that need to be done. It's just I've never seen it from LeBron ever. Like I've never seen that. He buddy with everybody, and yeah, you friends. And when you win it, that buddy can help build good chemistry. But what happens when things ain't going your way? Where are you then? And that's the issue with LeBron, man. Like you look at last year. I talked about this hard in the finals, but you looked at last year, game 1, when J.R. Smith made that mistake, and that halftime, LeBron didn't even go anywhere near the huddle. He sat on the damn table, and he did it when he came over there. He sat on the bench by himself, wasn't in the huddle. They trying to run a play. He checked out completely. He just completely checked out. It's overtime. Like you still have time to do something, and you just checked out. Was you gonna win the series? I let you win the series, but you don't check out, man.
they wasn't gonna win the series, and that's
Nah,
another finals loss. That's another finals loss that you can't count. I mean, come on, man.
and that's why I
But
say
I
about
think
them going to
the
don't
thing
check out.
is, the thing is with me and you, we respect how Allen Iverson went out. There's no way in hell Allen Iverson is supposed to beat Shaq and Kobe. But there was never a moment where he didn't play, nor his mindset didn't feel like I cannot win tonight. And that is what we cannot stand about him, because he will go into a series basically with the mindset, I can't win this one. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
We're supposed to do that. But as a competitor, bro, do the best you can, man. That's all we really want to see for him, is just go out there, be supportive of your guys, man, and push them as much as you can, take up for them, be that leader. But he is just not. It's not him. You know, he's 34 now. This is who he is. So.
and I mean, honestly, I know I've said it before, but the best thing that could happen for these young guys is they do get traded, man. Like, because he's killing their growth, and then you bring in this mentality that I've already lost mentality. Who wants that around young upcoming talent like that? Very talented group of players. Like, nah, man. Like, LeBron he the best player in the world, but he's a cancer at the same time, which is the first I've seen in the NBA. Like, I ain't never seen that. Throughout the generations, every best player in the world has been dominant, both on the court and mentally, off the court, all that stuff. And that's just not LeBron. You know, I've never seen this. He's an anomaly. he really
There's other great players that have cancers too. But yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Best player in the world.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. You go down the line, you look at every time there was a best in the world, when Kobe was the best, you ain't see this. When Shaq was the best, you ain't see this. When Jordan was the best, you ain't see this. When Magic that was the best, you ain't see this. Like, you can go down.
Kobe was a cancer when Shaq was still around. And that's coming from me. That's coming from me, dog. So, it's true. As much as I love Kobe, man, I got to be real about him. There was some years there where I'm like, bro, you have lost your damn mind. Like, what are you doing right now? Shut up, bro. Just pass the ball to Shaq.
But at that time, though, Shaq was the best player in the world still, and it wasn't Kobe. And that's why Kobe wanted him. That don't excuse it. Kobe wanted him gone so he could become the best player in the world. But
that's a whole nother day, man. I can go on that for an hour.
We can get into that one, so we ain't gonna do it.
Right, get off of Kobe.
Speaking of Kobe, he had some interesting comments, on the Rockets, and it wasn't something where he just threw his 2 cents out there. It was something he was asked, but they was talking about Harden, and they was asking him about the streak, and he said it's impressive. He said he's doing his thing. But he said you can't win a championship like that. Now, the media world went crazy. They thought he was trying to take jabs. They thought he was trying to slide him and all that stuff. I didn't feel that. I felt like he was speaking from experience, because that very thing that we was just talking about, where he got rid of Shaq and he was the man, he was doing what Harden is doing now. And he found out the hard way he couldn't win a championship that way. What did you think about those comments, man? I thought it was interesting, because the world didn't like it too much. They thought he was hating, and I thought he was just keeping it real. Like, you can't win like that.
A lot of times when Kobe speaks, man, and he's talking about basketball, Kobe haters come out and they just take what he's saying as, well, he can't say that because he did it and it didn't work for him. Instead of looking at it and asking yourself, is this true? And the fact of the matter is, I think it is true to a point. Now, the way James Harden is doing it, it could work. If one team didn't have 5 stars on it, that's his problem. You know what I mean? If one team doesn't have 5 stars on it, he could do it. And it almost worked last year. They almost beat the Warriors. If Chris Paul doesn't go down, there's no way you could tell me the Rockets don't finish that series off with the same damn style. All he's doing is dribbling at the top, pick and roll, either step back to the right, or he's driving to the left. Like, for some reason, nobody can stop it. The referees help him do it. So it works. I mean, at the end of the day, the question is, can he win that way? And I'm going to tell you right now, he just almost did. Because you're not going to tell me the Rockets weren't going to beat the Cavs last year. They would have been favored. They'd have been favored, most definitely. So I think what Kobe is missing is that it wouldn't have worked for his day. That wouldn't have worked at all. But today, you know, it's a lot easier to do what he's doing, man. I'm no disrespect to Harden, you know, but I mean, he's got all the advantages right now on top of just being a cold basketball player, man. Like, he just puts the ball in the bucket. And they right now, what isn't being talked about since this streak, they got the #1 offense in the league. #1, you know, and on top of that, it's winning. And the other thing what people aren't saying, what Kobe said, is that sometimes you have to do what you have to do to keep your team afloat. Chris Paul went out. James Harden knew the burden is on me, and he took the burden and ran with it. And now he's on a historic streak, man. He's on his way to another MVP. So, you know, you take comments for however you want to. There's some truth to it. I just feel like it could work if it wasn't for, you know, 5 stars being on one team. I'm gonna say that a lot. So everybody know they don't deserve the championship.
I'm glad you mentioned that part because, you know me, I ain't never been huge on Kobe. I like Kobe's game because I like that killer instinct. Anytime I see killer instinct, I respect that, you know, because of what I'm used to. But I was never a big Kobe fan. And a lot of times he get on my nerves. But it was one thing he said that I was just like, see, that's the part that everybody glossed over. And that was when he's doing what he has to do to win right now. And that's what he said that people glossing over. I'm like, it wasn't no hate in there. It was no shade, none of that stuff. You know, he wasn't trying to slate him or none of that. He was being real. He was like, if he don't do this, they're not winning no games. You know, like, he keeping it real. Like, he has to take over the game. He has to dominate right now. However, the issue that he was saying was, you know, if you try that in the playoffs when you're only going against the good teams where they can easily switch and just play certain defenses to take away things, it's not as easy to do. You know, it becomes a little harder. And you hit on one part of it that's very true is, yeah, the refs. I have never seen nothing like this in my life.
Not even Michael got these many calls, man.
I've never seen nothing like this in my life, man. Like, ever. Like, when I always go back to it, but like 2-3 weeks ago when Steph Curry did his travel step back and then he put up the 1-3, like, but he do it all the time. I was just like, like, so they clearly see it. They called it on him. He did it was identical. Like, he been practicing it. And they called it. But they don't call it on him. I don't understand it. I feel like he paying these refs off. Like some or something is still running around the NBA. I don't know, but it don't even make sense to me, man. The refs have called some calls where I'm just like, this whole fall down every time he shoot a 3. You don't even got to touch him. He falls every time, and they give it to him 60% of the time. Man, I've never seen nothing
where you get that stat from? No, 60% of the time. That ain't right. No, that ain't right. That's a horrible stat, man. Don't listen to him on that.
Hyperbole, but I'm still saying that's just me saying they give it to him a lot, is what I'm saying. But it's I've never seen nothing like it in my life. This is crazy to me. But Kobe had some good points on that. I thoroughly enjoyed that little 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 with Kobe and T-Mac. You know,
hell yeah. Kobe and T-Mac for an interview.
Yeah.
Forget how cold T-Mac was.
Oh, hell yeah.
We ain't gonna don't get started. We ain't getting into that today.
I was about to
another day. You got 10 minutes. I know you got 10 minutes of T-Mac stories, bro.
Hey, I was about to get in.
Oh, chill.
But speaking of players who step up and do their thing, because you look at T-Mac 6'8", 6'9", long. You see an athletic as hell. You see that type of person with ball skills, can handle the ball out this world. You expect him to dominate. Then you have this new age of suckers who 16 point guards, 6'10" point guards with 38 inch hurts. and can't shoot the ball at all. Not even a hook shot. You ain't shit. Ben Simmons. Like, go ahead, bro. I'm going to get on him. Go ahead. You say your thing. You do your thing. You can talk about this Sixers trade. I got some shit to say to Ben Simmons. Go ahead, though. You got it. You got it. Bum ass, weak ass.
Why you hate Ben Simmons so much, man? But, okay. I love what the Sixers did, though. Them getting Tobias Harris, for the average fan, they don't understand how good this guy really is, man. He's a very, very good player. And getting him, this is one of the main reasons why it was a great trade to get him is because of Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can do everything except actually take the ball and put it in the basket. And, so he needs listen. He needs as many guys as possible that can do that for him. Tobias Harris helps that. Their roster as it is right now, they should get to the finals easily. They should. But my problem with the trade is what you're going to get into. It is still Ben Simmons. And my problem with Ben Simmons, man, is like you said, dog. He's taller than 6'10". That boy damn near 7 foot. I mean, he's got an advantage every single night. Whether a guard is guarding him or a forward, whoever. He's got a height advantage on damn near everybody, unless he's going up against Giannis, you know what I'm saying, or KD or something like that. And he's faster than almost everyone, too. He's bigger than everybody, and he cannot shoot worth anything, like anything outside of a dunk or a dunk shot. People don't know what a dunk shot is, man. I'm going to introduce a dunk shot. Dunk shot ain't nothing but jumping over the rim and just dropping it in the basket. That's all a dunk shot is, man. He can't shoot a hook. A hook shot is something you learn from elementary school, man. I don't understand how you can be in the NBA and you don't have to go to class. You have availability to the best gym, the best trainers, and you can't shoot outside the lane. And on top of that, he can't make free throws. Like, it is irritating watching Ben Simmons play, man. It really is, dog. Hold up. I'm not finished. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go, man, because yours is going to be worse than mine. I don't understand it, bro. How can you not shoot a jump hook? You're 6'11". These guards are guarding you are 6'5", 6'6". He should be killing. And even though he still is killing off of that, he's running. All he's really doing is running around. And he can pass. Now, give him that. That credit is a skill. He can definitely pass. He hustles. He plays hard. And I also believe he does have heart. But at the same time, he's scary to even try to shoot the ball. Like, bro, why are you not at least just shoot it? It's the regular season, man. We could take some losses because your shot was off. And it's not like I know he's practicing this, but to not practice it in the game is just a waste of time. You're not just going to walk out there and all of a sudden you automatically making it. No, it don't work that way. You have to fail in the games. You have to keep shooting. And that's why I don't really – I love the trade, but at the same time, I don't really care about it because of their point guard. But go ahead, man.
Man, look. Look.
I'm gonna just
Ben Simmons is pure poo butt trash. Ben Simmons, you know what? Before I get on his ass, I'm gonna give you the perfect example of somebody that I had to respect who came into the NBA similar. Go back and you look at when the Clippers, brought in the original dunk shot of what's the boy name?
Yeah,
Blake Griffin.
No. The original is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's the original.
He's the original.
Go ahead.
But you look at when Blake Griffin came into the NBA, man, and The Clippers brought him in, and he couldn't shoot worth a damn at all. He was just super athletic. He was big. He was strong, and he was just dunk. That's it. If it wasn't for a Chris Paul, I wonder how far along he really would have came, because Chris Paul was just laying it up for him all the time. That was it. So I look at him and I say, this is the perfect example of somebody that you have to respect, that came into the league with a similar type of skill set and build, who couldn't shoot worth a damn, but he still tried. And now today, he's a much better shooter. Like, he's someone that you actually have to guard when he's on the three-point line. That didn't used to be the case. I look at Ben Simmons, poo butt, sucker, and this trick made weak ass. He don't deserve to be on that team, okay? He can't shoot a hook shot. The boy can't shoot a hook shot. Forget a hook shot. He can't shoot a jump shot from 4 feet away. You've never seen it.
He really can't, though.
It don't even exist in his arsenal. His mind, I look at you and I say, boy, you sucker. You don't even play defense. If you ain't gonna shoot, your punk ass better play defense. You worse than Rondo. Rondo would shoot and piss Kevin Garnett off, but at least his punk ass will shoot. What are you doing? Like, you so bad. You don't even play defense. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You 6'10", 6'11", whatever the hell you are, you can run the floor. You can do all this shit. And you know what? I ain't even going to give him all that extra credit for passing. Damn all that. Look at the team he's on. They move well without the ball. You don't need to be a super passer to get assists in that team. No, you telling me if I throw it down to Joel Embiid, he gonna miss? Of course you gonna get an assist. Like, what the hell? But I ain't trying to hear that passing stuff, man. I'm not with it. Ben Simmons, you sorry. You flat out sorry. You robbing the Sixers. Those fans deserve more. They don't deserve a Ben Simmons in their life. Ben Simmons, what I watched you do in the playoffs last year, that was some real whole stuff, flat out. Like, what you did was so bad. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, I understand why Joel Embiid is looking at you so disgusted right now. You sorry. You sorry. You are so sorry. If you couldn't dunk, you wouldn't even be in the NBA, flat out. You had already been dropped down to the D League. You would be so you just disgust me. Like, I can't even think of a word to describe my disgust for this dude, man. He a waste of everything. He a waste of air. Like, you don't deserve to be there, man. Like, I'm not impressed with nothing about his game, man. You supposed to be able to rebound the ball. You 6'12". You 6'12", and got a 38-inch vert. You better damn rebound. You ain't playing no defense. The least you could do is rebound. I'm not impressed with your passing. It ain't like you're this out of this world passer. You ain't LeBron or nothing like that. Or, like, you ain't no dope passer. You just You just look better than what you are because of what's around you. Like, realistically speaking, the Sixers might have the best team in the NBA when it comes to moving without the ball. They can move and they can hit from all over the place. They got a variety of everything. Your job is easy. So you telling me that you can't just pull up from 4 feet? 4 feet? I'm done, man. Ben Simmons ain't shit. I'm standing on that. And I hope it hurt. And I'm going to tag the hell out you too, you weak ass boy. Pooh butt.
I hope Ben Simmons responds to this shit.
Suck. He sucks.
I hope he flamed you, dog. Like you just flamed him. I think, hey man, look, we've been doing this for a little while now. I think that was the first take where we are the title of the show, dog. Like that shit really gotta hurt, man. Like, yeah, but it's the truth though. It's the truth though, because we don't want to see him like that. It's ridiculous, man. And then, and the other part about it, he didn't play his first year. He had a whole year to just
To
stand
get
around and shoot. I ain't had to do nothing. He had everything else. I had to do was stand around and shoot. And it's clear to me, I don't know if he's completely focused on basketball because the guys that are, you see development in their game, man. I do not see any development in his game. Like you said with Joel Embiid, there's been times I've seen him and he's looking at Ben Simmons like, damn, man, why am I the best shooter on the floor right now? And, and hold up, Joel Embiid had a problem earlier this season with having to be kind of a stretch guy. Why does he have to be the stretch guy? We're not asking you to be a knockdown 3-point shooter right now. Man, it took Russell Westbrook about 6 or 7 years. Look, you remember how Westbrook was? He couldn't shoot at all. Kobe used to literally stand at the free throw line, and Westbrook would be at the 3. But he started developing that little pull-up from 15. He kept doing it. Now, he's still not a great shooter, but he can make the shot. He shoots 30-something. He can make 30%. And, I mean, really, at this point right now, with his jumper, man, we're just asking you to be able to make a mid-range. Can you make a mid-range shot? It really is. It's ridiculous, dog. He's been in the league too many years now to have not developed anything. He don't even have moves. Like,
nothing.
I have no faith. And for him, he's the reason why I have no faith in whatever the Sixers do. None.
I look at him and I say, you are literally the same person you was when you was 15. Your game hasn't improved at all. He's the NBA's version of Cam Newton. The only difference is Cam Newton's actually competitive. That's the difference. Cam Newton's actually competitive. I don't even see him. I don't even see Ben Simmons, man, because Ben Simmons don't even care. Like, Ben Simmons don't care, like, at all. Like, I really don't think he cares. I think that they would be better off without Ben Simmons. And to be perfectly honest, I can't even think of a team to send him to where he would improve them. I just don't. That says a lot. I don't see a single team that I look at and I say, if you send Ben Simmons there, they'll improve. I believe if you send him to the Knicks, they still finish with the same record they was going to have if he wasn't there. Like I truly believe that. Ben Simmons ain't nothing, man.
Yeah, the Knicks don't have guys that can put the ball in the basket for them.
No,
maybe we'll probably be a little bit better, man. But
no, they wouldn't. You know why? Because what I said earlier, Ben Simmons has all these pieces around him there. If you put him on a team like the Knicks where he's by himself, where they gonna key in on him, you saw what happened to him in the playoffs last year against the Celtics, where they took him, they said, well, we're just not gonna let you get to the rim. What did he end up doing? Absolutely nothing. You put him on a team where he's by himself, you think he gonna get to the rim? Hell no. Hell no.
I mean, but the Knicks are awful, man.
Don't make no excuses for that poop ass boy. He's sorry.
I didn't make no excuses. What you just said was the Knicks wouldn't be better at all, and I'm like, look, man, we awful.
They wouldn't.
And I said 25 to 30 wins, so I'm at least give Ben Simmons that. But man, next subject, dog. We didn't roasted Ben Simmons enough.
It is what it is with him, man. Ben Simmons, step your game up. I mean that literally and figuratively. Like, you sorry. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, man, that's all we got for tonight, man. You know, we down to the wire with the deadline tomorrow. I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern time or something like that you got to make a trade. Whew. Will AD get traded?
Hey, hold on. Let me say this though, real quick, man. Let's say this is hypothetical right now. Let's say the Lakers can't trade. They don't get AD. They don't get him before tomorrow, and they don't get him this summer. Is it possible that the Lakers are better off not getting LeBron? Because, hold on, let me tell you why. The reason why I'm just asking the question, man. The reason why I'm asking is because he missed what he missed? He missed 18 or 19 games this season. That stretch that he missed, they went like 6-12 or 6-13, something like that. So now they're on the outside of the playoffs, and
I see.
Let's say that they may not even make the playoffs this year. That's real right now. And the way those young guys are playing, they act like they don't want to be there. But I'm not going to disrespect LeBron. I expect him, if they don't make the trade, for him to just turn it on and at least get him in the playoffs. But for the future, if they can't get stars to come to LA, were they better off without it? Because, like you said, if you play with him, you're gonna have to give up some of your game. You know, he doesn't really allow the offense to run that maximizes everyone's talent around him, never empowers them throughout the season. So, like you said, it's gonna hold them back a little bit. Would they have been better off without getting it?
Yeah, but I've been said that. You know, that's and that wasn't even like when I said that. I think people thought I was hating on him because I was actually saying that when he was still with Cleveland, when LeVar Ball was saying he gonna come to LA, and I said that would be the worst thing to happen for them because him coming there, he's literally going to stunt the growth of those young guys. And I love that everybody loves the young talent of the Lakers because we've seen this before. We've seen teams build through the draft, and then you can see that when it clicks, them boys going to be something vicious. We've seen this before over and over and over. And now you're looking at the Lakers and you're saying when it clicks and you can see that I will say that they are extremely competitive. The reason I say that is because you don't play good defense if you're not competitive. Competitive is a want-to, or defense is a want-to skill. So
the
to play
Lakers
the defense,
have played hard, except for last night. Those young guys have played hard
I think that's
last 2
all
years.
because of the trade talk. I think that all this talk with the trade and LeBron not having their back, they have checked out. They don't. You got to look at it like this. You mentioned this last time. You said these guys looked at this is LeBron's generation. You know, they look at LeBron like he's MJ to us. You know,
Right.
so when you have your idol, the guy you've looked up to your whole life, come to play with you, you starstruck, and you just thinking nothing but glorious thoughts. But then when
Reality set
don't
in.
go the way that you want it to, and you see he don't got your back, and he just kind of turned to give you the cold shoulder, you know, and he ain't really in it because I don't give a damn what nobody say. LeBron could have been came back. I found it to be real funny. He came back for the Clippers, but they couldn't play against the Warriors. LeBron didn't give
Man, I don't know about that. That's speculation. I mean, me and you both have been around. Me and you both have been around injuries like that, man. It takes 4 to 6 weeks. And then he played. Hold on. He played 40 minutes the first game, which he wasn't supposed to. Overtime.
Yeah.
Quick turnaround against the Warriors. I mean, that's speculation.
Let me tell you why I say that. Nobody plays games like LeBron. And when I say games, I ain't talking about basketball games. I'm talking about games. Like he always playing some type of game, whether it's through social media, on the court, through the media, whatever it is, he always playing some type of game. And you never really know why until it happens. But he's always playing some type of game. It's like fun to him. Like it's a hobby. But I think those young guys are seeing this. They seeing the games. They seeing all this stuff and the the little jabs that he take, like the way he talk about his team when he say, he literally talk about how good he is, but in doing so, you're putting down your teammates. You never heard Kobe, Michael, all these greats talk about themselves like that, and in the process put down their teammates, because if you do, you are literally taking them out. And that's what he's doing with these young guys, man. And that's why I say I never thought that it was a good idea for him to go to LA. I think we all knew it was going to happen, but I never liked the idea of him going there because of what they already had in place. And at this point, I've said it already, trade them boys, get them out. It's for their own good interest to get rid of them, man. Like, get them out of there because you killing them. Like, you really are. I don't think
this whole narrative changes if they get AD tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everything changes, bro. Then getting LeBron is worth it. If they get AD tomorrow, then it's worth it.
You know what's going to happen? Because people forget and see, It's like LeBron. LeBron is like Sean McVay in this instance that he still ain't learning from his mistakes. He gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over. It ain't like AD gonna come there and then you suddenly, oh, you winning. Like, nah, man. For one, you know, like when the AD get there, if you trade away all your pieces, you gonna be the Heat when you first got there. When they first got to the Heat, they couldn't afford nobody. They had to wait a whole year before they could bring talent in because they just
didn't. They still had the best team though.
Yeah,
problem, but the problem.
Hold on, let me finish. Hold on. So they couldn't afford nobody. And what I'm saying, if you get AD in there and you trade away everybody, it ain't gonna be an overnight fix. You know, this is something that's gonna still take time because you still only two players. Now, while you might be two of the top 3 or 4 best players in the world, you're still only 2 players. I agree, but you know, we got people that debate.
No debate.
You still only 2, and we talking about some real loaded. For example, you ain't even got. We could take the Warriors out of the equation. You can't tell me that you're gonna say, "Oh well, you get rid of all these young players, you bring in AD, and they're ready to compete with the Rockets." I don't believe they are, because if you got a healthy Rockets team, I think they're gonna beat the hell out the Lakers. I think that's a 5-game series, 6 if they lucky. You know, that's just my personal opinion. I don't believe that if you get AD or you trade those young guys out, that they ready. Like, and you're gonna see that. You're gonna see LeBron still pouting, and AD gonna have that same look as these young guys. AD gonna be looking at him like,
yeah, man, yeah.
LeBron's a cancer. It is the truth, man. I hope it hurt too.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, no, they're not gonna win immediately, but everybody is trying to make moves for the following season, because this season is it's a waste of time, man. Everybody's setting up just like the Clippers. The Clippers knew they couldn't win a championship. They had a good team, great coach, but they can't win, so they let go of Tobias Harris, and now they about to go into full-fledged tanking mode for draft picks and trying to get freeing up salary cap and trying to get 2 stars. You know, by getting AD, it starts. A good basketball team will start the time of getting chemistry. And that's one of the things that have been lacking with his teams, because he always trying to trade everybody. They lack chemistry. But in his defense, man, if you get AD, you set up to win next year. Not right now. You set up to win next year. Yeah, they are. They set up because they could still get somebody else. You gotta let me finish, bro.
LeBron trying to wait till next year. That's what I'm saying. LeBron, if that
I
was
don't
the
care
case,
what he's trying to. I don't care what he's trying to wait for. No, listen. I don't give a damn what LeBron's trying to wait for. I'm gonna say it again. There is a team with 5 stars, bro. Your ass don't have to wait. He gonna have to wait on the championship. He's not winning the championship this year. I ain't gonna say that about him, but I will say this, man. If he really believes he can get AD and go beat the Warriors with 5 stars, nigga, please. He lost his damn mind. I think that's realistic. And you lose to everybody else? No.
Hey.
I say the championship has already been determined. Everybody's setting up their roster for next year when those 5 stars have to break up, man, and they only gonna have 3.
That's what I'm saying. If that's the case, LeBron wouldn't even be in a hurry to do this right now, because AD still got time. Like, you could get him next year. It ain't like he's a free agent this year. You know, it ain't like he's gonna be a free agent and go somewhere else. That's not the case. LeBron truly feels like, I need another superstar so I can get to these playoffs and make some noise. That's his mentality every year. LeBron is always thinking now in the present. He's not waiting for the future or anything like that, regardless of what he say. We all know that's true about LeBron. He's impatient as hell, and he don't even realize that the main reason that he's impatient, the reason these things don't work out as quick as he is, because of himself. He don't even realize that. But I think that AD gets there. It still ain't what it wants. Because AD ain't gonna put up with it. AD gonna look at him like, bruh, chill. Like AD gonna get tired of him. I don't think it's a good match. I really don't. I don't think that anything will ever satisfy LeBron because it's never his fault. He can't look in the mirror and say, I just need to just work with what I got. He never does that. He never looks in the mirror and say, let the rest of it happen when it happens. Right now, I need to focus on this right here, right now, with what I got. Give it my all. He don't do it, and if he don't like what he got with him, he's not gonna give it his all. It's just that simple.
I got nothing to add, man.
Fine then, that's whatever. So forget it, shit. And Ben Simmons, I can't think. That's
man,
all we got.
You ain't got six, man. Off. You ain't even a Sixers fan, bro. Why you hate him so hard, bro?
Because I can't stand waste, and he's a waste. You can't be 7 feet tall and wasteful when you move like that. That's what I can't stand, man. I cannot stand it. You are a waste of God-given ability. You look at some of these other cats that's like that, where they Kevin Durant, LeBron James, AD, like it's guys who you look at their bodies and their frames and you say you shouldn't be able to do the things that you do. But I give you the perfect example of a guy who I got so much respect for him. I know you don't got the same level of respect, but Boogie, because Boogie a big sloppy, but Boogie gonna run that.
No, I love Boogie. I love Boogie. I just hate where he decided to play this year. I don't respect that at all. But the thing about Boogie, man, listen, man, Boogie has no athleticism at all. What he does have, to his advantage,
that's why you got
to his advantage, he does have a big body, but he also has every skill imaginable for a big man. It is impressive. People don't understand how good he really is, man. I just don't respect this year. I don't respect this year for him. This championship don't count. If I knew Boogie and I was his friend, I'd tell him straight out, bro, you need to take that ring off. The garbage is over there. You didn't earn that. You need to go somewhere else and earn it. Him and KD, they have no rings, bro.
No, that's fine. I won't argue with that at all. But you know what I'm saying when I say the reason you have to respect his game so much, he's not that athletic. He
ain't athletic at all.
He a big sloppy body, but you will see this man do every single thing on the floor. Everything from passing, from mid-range three, plant post-up moves, everything, defense, like you see him do everything on the floor. And that's why I respect this game. That's why I look at guys like Ben Simmons and say, it's not enough for me, because I see a Steph Curry who's not the worst athlete. He's quick. He's just not fast. He's not strong or anything like that. He's not the worst athlete. He's not as bad an athlete as Boogie is, but you see how dominant he is. And I look at Ben Simmons and I say, I see Anthony Davis who's 7 feet tall as well, and he do it all. There's nothing he can't do.
Right.
I look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I say this boy couldn't shoot worth a day. He probably was a worse shooter than Ben Simmons when he came in the NBA.
No.
Giannis was terrible, but whatever the case may be, he was terrible. Giannis was so bad. But Giannis, his ascension is so unbelievably impressive because he has a killer instinct. He has a killer instinct where all he does is try to get better, and he don't want to be friends with nobody on the court. He want to kill you. And because if he looks in the mirror, he say, I have the physical ability to kill anybody. And you see a guy like Anthony Davis who's the same way, and you see a guy like KD who the same way, where they got this physical ability and they actually want to work on it and exploit it. Then you see Ben Simmons, nah, man, I ain't got to be a Sixers fan. I'm a fan of talent, and you are sorry. That's simple. That's all I got to say. We out of here, man. That's all we got this week. Yeah.
Hurt.